A few weeks ago we saw several faux amis. A faux ami is a false or a fake friend. It means it's a word in English that does not translate literally in French in the same way, and they're very tricky because sometimes they lead to embarrassing mistakes. We saw 5 last time, we're going to see 5 more today because they're very funny and students love them, and I don't want you to make any mistake in French. Bonjour, I'm Géraldine, welcome to Comme, Française. Today I'm going to help you speak everyday modern French with confidence. This is exactly as last time. If you're a beginner, try to really be aware that these faux amis exist. If you're intermediate, try to learn them and then translations, and advanced students should really learn the alternatives and study the examples so they can use them in their everyday spoken French. Our first one for today is actuellement. Actuellement. It's funny because you might think it's the same when you hear actually in English, which is funny because when students translated Love Actually when it was out, they didn't understand what it was about, okay? So, actually is not actuellement. It's not the same. Actuellement is now. Actuellement is now. And actually in English translates into en fait, okay? Actually translates into en fait. So, remember? Okay. Actuellement is now. Actually is en fait. So, for example, la machine est en panne actuellement. La machine est en panne actuellement. La machine est en panne actuellement. So, this translates into this machine is out of order now. La machine est en panne actuellement. Another example. En fait, je suis allée au cinéma. En fait, je suis allée au cinéma. Actually, I went to the cinema. So that's a good answer if someone asks you, so what did you end up doing today? En fait, je suis allée au cinéma. Actually, I went to the cinema. Excité is the one that makes me laugh a lot. I mentioned embarrassing mistakes at the beginning of the lesson, and actually this one leads to the most embarrassing mistakes because students use it a lot, because in English you use I'm so excited or I'm excited about something a lot. There's another one that we're going to mention afterwards, but excité is one of those embarrassing mistakes maker. So excité is not excited. Excité in French might mean different things. If it's about children, children who are excité, it would be they're running everywhere, they're not listening to anyone. So that's excité. They're very, very loud, they just can't stop. It's not going to end up well for them if one of them falls and cries, okay? So this is the idea. They're running everywhere, they're not listening to their parents. However, when you're talking about adults, it might mean sexually aroused. It's weird for me to say this on YouTube, but it's actually true. So just be careful when you're using it. And actually, we do not use it at all in the same way that you use it in English, as in I am excited about something. We would say j'ai hâte de. J'ai hâte de. I'm looking forward to something. And excited would be more passionné or enthousiaste, okay? It's really not used in the same way. So we use passionné or enthousiaste, and to translate this idea of I'm so excited about something coming up soon, you would say j'ai hâte de, I'm looking forward to. So as you can notice, it's not the same meaning in translation because it does not translate literally. And for that I don't have any answer, because the French does not translate literally here. So I cannot give you something that is exactly the same. So we would say I look forward to, j'ai hâte de, j'ai hâte de. For example, j'ai hâte d'aller voir ce concert. J'ai hâte d'aller voir ce concert. I'm looking forward to going to this concert. I'm excited about going to this show. So you see here, again, we cannot translate it literally because in French it does not exist. So be careful with excité because, one, for adults we do not use it in the same way, and second, it has a more adult meaning. I just told you about excité being a way to say sexually aroused. And there's another one that is pretty funny that lots of students who have female cat told me about. I knew it, but they send me funny stories. So un chat is not a chat. I think that you can get that because un chat is a cat. Okay, un chat is a cat in English. And be careful with one thing, is that if you have a female cat and you're going to see a doctor or you're going to talk about it to your neighbor, you have to know that une chatte is the way in slang to talk about female private parts. So I'm not going to go beyond that because I think you can understand that. But again, just be careful. You can talk about un chat, okay, that you can precise it's female afterwards. But again, it leads to funny stories. Everybody knows it. So if you're actually going to talk about your female cat, they're going to understand you're going to talk about that. But for lots of people, because it's slang and because of the context, it might lead to a funny story. And if you want to just talk about having a chat, you can say une conversation or une discussion. Une discussion or une conversation. Une discussion or une conversation. They're the translations for a chat. Une discussion or une conversation. And a very simple example with un chat. J'ai un chat et c'est le plus mignon du monde. J'ai un chat et c'est le plus mignon du monde. The next one for today is une envie and envy. They do not mean the same. Une envie is more a desire, a want, something you really crave for, whereas envy is more jealousy. So they're really not on the same level. Sometimes you can translate one with the other, but it's really in certain contexts that are very, very narrow, and I don't want to mention them today. Also, if you know envie, you might have heard of avoir envie, which means vouloir as well. Avoir envie, as in vouloir, to want. But again, it's a small craving. It's not something as really bad as envy, as in jealousy in English. So you can see it's really not the same level of need, of crave, of really this deep want that you have. For example, j'ai envie d'une glace. J'ai envie d'une glace. I want an ice cream right now. It's like I feel like having an ice cream. It's not big. It's not going to define my life if I don't get one, but I really want to have an ice cream now. J'ai envie d'une glace. So you see, not the same level. However, je suis jalouse de Michel. Il a une glace. Je suis jalouse de Michel. Il a une glace. I'm really jealous of Michel. He has an ice cream. I feel envy, okay, about Michel because he has an ice cream. Obviously, it's a very light example here, but I really wanted to show you the difference between envy and envy. So it's not the same meaning at all. And even though they look like each other and they might be used in very narrow literature or poetry, it's absolutely not the same at all. And at last, today I wanted to talk about this one because it played tricks on me because it took me years to understand. It's raisin and raisins, okay? Le raisin in French, or un raisin, is a grape, okay? Grapes as in the thing you use to make wine. Un raisin or le raisin is grapes. And raisin in French translates into les raisins secs, okay? Les raisins secs or un raisin sec. Un raisin sec. They never come in one, so I usually say les raisins secs, but here, because I want to show you the grammar, it's un raisin sec. So, for example, j'adore le raisin, mais pas les raisins secs. J'adore le raisin, mais pas les raisins secs. I love grapes, but not raisins. And it played many, many tricks on me because it took me years to realize it was not the same thing. If you missed last time's lesson on les faux amis or you want to learn more, you should check out this playlist that I made for you. You're going to learn more faux amis and more expressions and vocabulary to sound more authentic and real and fluent in French and speak with confidence. Have a lovely day. I'm going to see you in the next video. À tout de suite.